At the time I'm making this video, we are 3 weeks, 21 days away from the 2024 election, where we can choose between Kamala Harris representing freedom, our constitutional republic, and Donald Trump representing fascism, Nazism, and death. I belabor all this to show you what we will get when it comes to Donald Trump. And I know I'm treading on familiar ground, and I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again, and I'm going to keep saying it up to the election and past the election if Donald Trump, heaven help us, is reelected. Donald Trump is a Nazi. Donald Trump is a fascist. How do we know this? And this is not me being hyperbole. We know this for a fact because Donald Trump himself has said it for a fact. Before I get into that, I'm a student of history, mainly World War II, because things in this country, in the United States, changed dramatically. Things in this world changed dramatically because of World War II. For everyone who lived at that time. They don't call it the greatest generation in our country for nothing. But the question keeps being bandied about. How and why did the Nazis take power? How did the Nazis reign control over Europe? The answer is simple, and there are many theories out there. But the most common theory is because Adolf Hitler took control by telling the German people, it's not your fault that things are this bad. It's not your fault or mine that things are wrong here. It's the fault of the Jew, the Untermensch. Now that doesn't translate to Jewish, mind you. Untermensch is a German term that was used in Nazi Germany as in subhuman, lower class, not human. That's what Adolf Hitler called the Jew in Germany. And when you keep pounding that kind of rhetoric in people who are broke, people who have no money, people who are starving, people who want some kind of meaning, at least in their minds, what you're going to get is an incredibly destructive world, an incredibly destructive worldview of people. The Untermensch, as Adolf Hitler told, were the Jew. They were dirty, they were diseased, they were criminals, they were insane, they were rapists. Everything you could think of, that Adolf Hitler could think of to call the Jew, he used. And he used it in spades. And a lot of people keep asking, how did the Holocaust happen? What led up to it? So many theories out there and so many movies I've seen on the subject, whether they were documentaries or fictional accounts. But the one thing that all of us can agree on is that Adolf Hitler used the Jew as a scapegoat for failure in Germany before the Nazi regime took over. We all know this. And the pity of it is, it led, the lies that Adolf Hitler told led to massive slaughter, to incredible genocide, the Holocaust. Over 1 million people dead because some idiot who became leader decided to blame one race of people for the failures of their nation. And that screams led to death on a massive scale, on a genocidal scale. But the more frightening part about it isn't just the showers that had no water, the death camps. Adolf Hitler made the law that made this whole thing legal, at least in Germany. He had the power of law since he was the Chancellor of Germany, the Führer. It was legal in his eyes. And every German soldier who took place in that monstrosity kept screaming, "I was just following orders." Orders that led to over 1 million people murdered. Old men, women, children, dead. There's an old saying that if you don't learn from the past, you'll always be doomed to repeat it. And now here we are, nearly 80 years later. And here we are. We are seeing a man not learn from the past. A man who will do whatever it takes to regain power. Lie to anyone, blame everyone. Say that it's not my fault that things are so bad. It's someone else. And that someone else happens to be different than you. And that difference can be so minuscule, so unthinking, so small. But thanks to that one madman, just like Adolf Hitler, he has shown that he will and can push those lies to the point where lives are being put in danger. And that man, obviously, is Donald Trump. Donald Trump, from the moment he walked down that golden escalator, saying that Mexicans are rapists and drug dealers, they're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime to our country. From the moment he did that, that was the beginning stage of Adolf Hitler to what he did in Germany. And they let him get away with it too. Thankfully, I thank God that this didn't happen. We didn't see the the Jewish type Holocaust of Nazi Germany, but we came very, very close to it. His rhetoric led to the deaths of Mexican immigrants in this country. The prime example was the Walmart mass shooting in El Paso. All because of his rhetoric of a Mexican invasion at the border, murdering innocent people. And since then, he has not apologized for his rhetoric. He has just pushed it far and far, and more lives have been endangered. Even after he lost the presidency in 2020, he hasn't slowed down, he hasn't stopped, he has only made it 10 times worse. Every year to this very day, before the 2024 election, he has continually screamed, it's all the immigrants' fault. Immigrants are taking away jobs. Immigrants are making things more expensive. All of that is a lie. But now he has gone even further than those lies. What you're about to see in these clips should frighten all of you, whether you're immigrants to this country or natural-born citizens. It should frighten you.
And they're bringing drugs, and they're bringing crime, and they're rapists. These people are the most violent people on earth. And remember, they don't come just from South America. They come from the Congo and Africa. They come from all over the world. They come from the Middle East. They come from Asia. They come from prisons and jails. They come from all over the world. And she was saying, these are very nice people. Either she's really dumb or she's very naive. We have the greatest military in the world, but you have to know how to use them. You have to know how to use them. But I protect you against outside enemies. But you know, I always say we have the outside enemy, so you can say China, you can say Russia, you can say Kim Jong-un, you can say, but that's not, it's going to be fun. If you have a smart president, no problem. It's the enemy from within, all the scum that we have to deal with that hate our country. That's a bigger enemy than China and Russia. We will not be conquered. We will not be occupied. We will not be invaded. We will reclaim our sovereignty. We will reclaim our nation. And I will give back your freedom and give back your life.
Not even the people that have come in and destroying our country. By the way, totally destroying our country. The towns, the villages, they're being inundated. But I don't think they're the problem in terms of election day. I think the bigger problem are the people from within. We have some very bad people. We have some sick people, radical left lunatics. And I think they're and it should be very easily handled by, if necessary, by National Guard, or if really necessary, by the military, because they can't let that happen.
If you ever have watched any old footage of Adolf Hitler and his speeches, you see the parallels we're seeing now. Donald Trump may not wear the golden coat, the Nazi-style uniform, the swastika on his arm. He may not be speaking in German, but he is a Hitler wannabe nonetheless. He is a fascist nonetheless. He is a Nazi nonetheless. Repeating the exact same kind of words that Adolf Hitler has used. Repeating those exact same kinds of threats. And now he wants to use the United States military to enforce his personal mandate. In a rally in Colorado, Trump has said that he wants to reactivate the Alien Enemies Act, the act that led to the internment of the Japanese in this country during World War II. I have said this often. Though the United States was at war with Japan at the time, it was wrong. And it remains to be a stain on this country. And trust me, this country has a lot of stains. Some self-inflicted wounds, others from the outside. But that was a self-inflicted wound. And Donald Trump is proposing to do the exact same thing. But he's not just trying to do it to Mexican immigrants. No, no, no. You heard him. He's trying to do it to everyone who doesn't look like him. And more to the point, everyone who doesn't vote for him. And more to the point, people like me who speak out against them. That is what he wants. He wants total and complete control. Constitution be damned. Lives be damned. The American flag be damned. Everything this country stands for be damned. Trump wants to be Adolf Hitler. He has made that abundantly clear in those rantings of his, trying to say that he's going to protect this country and he won't be invaded. This country won't be invaded. Who exactly is invading our country, Trump? And yes, unfortunately, some immigrants have killed American citizens. But they're not going from town to town murdering people. It's no more a lie than your idiotic idea of Venezuelans or Mexicans, whatever the crap it is, taking over an apartment complex in Aurora, Colorado. It's the same lie that you and J.D. Vance pushed on America about Haitian immigrants because they're black, because they're colored about them eating dogs and cats and geese, which is a lie that has been debunked over and over and over again. But like Adolf Hitler, you continue to spread those lies in the hopes that your brainless supporters will say, my God, they really are doing this, just like the Germans did. My God, they really are killing ducks and geese and dogs and cats, just like the Jews did. You get them into that mindset, there's no turning back. Trump is trying to emulate, no, he's actually trying to be Hitler. But it's the oldest political trick in the book, scaring people into thinking that they're in some kind of danger and you're the only one who can protect them. It's sick, it's wrong, and quite honestly, this should end Donald Trump's campaign with the threat of violence against American citizens, whether they are born here in the United States or immigrated here. Because make no mistake, he doesn't care about natural-born citizens or anything else. He cares, do you vote for me? Do you support me? Do you bow to me? Just like Adolf Hitler. When you have someone who lies like this, who says they're poisoning the blood of our country, that they're vermin, just as Adolf Hitler did, that person should not be occupying the office of the presidency. And Kamala Harris, I hope that God this video finds you somehow, and you're watching this. I know you have an interview with Fox News. I hope you know what you're doing. But when you get on there and they ask you about immigration, let it all out. Tell them what Trump has said and make it clear what Trump's intentions are if he goes into the White House. Because he is not hiding his intentions from us. He is broadcasting them day in and day out. And that's for you and me, my fellow American voters. 21 days. I want you to remember, at a great extreme cost, we defeated fascism in this nation. We defeated fascism in this world. I'm talking about the greatest generation, World War II. Now, unfortunately, it's our turn to do the same. Only this time, the fascists that we're fighting against, they don't live thousands of miles away in Europe. The fascist is right here in the United States of America. And unfortunately, he is running for president. But here's the thing. We have the power. He doesn't. Back then, during World War II, it's about the bullets, the bombs, and the blood. Here, we have a more powerful weapon. In this election, the vote. Make a plan and vote. Early voting has begun in many states in this country. Make a plan and vote. This is our chance to be counted as one of the greatest generations of Americans who fought against fascism, which Donald Trump is. Make a plan and vote. 21 days. Trump cannot be allowed back in the office. Otherwise, the American flag that's fluttering in the breeze that you or your neighbor has in your yard will be replaced by the American Nazi flag. Only this time instead of the red, white, and blue and the stars and stripes, it will be a gigantic T for Trump. That is what he wants. Do not give it to him. 21 days. Fight against fascism. Fight for our nation. Fight with our votes. Please share this video with everyone you can, because we are running out of time. CTP, know the truth. God bless. Peace to the left, justice to the right.